Dr. Tamimas.
Send it.
On route with someone who got shot in the head. Their left temple is exposed and it's really, really gross.
There you go.
And they're also unconscious.
Okay. So, what's your name, Doc?
I'm Dr. Aria.
Switch back to 2.
Aria. Oh, do you sing?
No, I'm not much of a singer.
Oh, that's a shame.
Alright, sir, I'm gonna go ahead and stand you up to your feet. 3, 2, 1.
You are joking. You're joking that we have a brain exposed?
Like,
Crime hurts, Reed.
crime does hurt. Those fucking hosers. It's okay. We've got the element of surprise for tomorrow. Tomorrow, once we're rested up, we'll go blow up their Lamborghinis. Fuck the ballers. Thank you, doctors.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, buds.
Yeah. Are you on radio?
No, I left my radio at home like a dum-dum.
Okay, so I did get a, seems like there's somebody who got shot in the head and their brain's exposed.
I don't know. He looks pretty bad.
Wow, look at that! This is perfect!
He's
Hello?
in very bad condition. His
Okay,
left
okay.
temple is exposed. He got a single gunshot wound to the head.
Okay, OR3.
Yeah, he's been
hell
unconscious
yeah.
the entire time. Should just move him into the OR.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Alright, let's get you, I'm gonna get you comfortable on the bed. You're
This
joking.
couldn't have come at a better time.
Quite literally. Alright, let's scrub in. Left side of his head. Okay. Okay, I'll make sure he's stable. Left. I have a cat! Okay, pulse is weak. I'm gonna go ahead and hang some O negative. Ma'am! Let me just clear the airway. Be stable. Okay, good. Ma'am, please. Ma'am? Okay.
Well, this is not the mask that I was thinking that I had,
I'm on
but
the right,
that's
so he's on
okay.
the left side. Ma'am, please.
It looks like I'm just going to a rave.
Well, brain surgery
Need a
can
little
be a
party
rave.
up in here.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So,
Left temple.
is it a
exposed.
skull fracture or is it just like completely cracked?
His left temple is completely exposed from what I can see.
Ooh. Fancy.
Fancy. Ah, I'm so excited. Okay.
So, what you're gonna do is gonna do a brain scan just to see if there's any internal
Shut up.
brain damage. Like, we obviously know that it's exposed, but we want to make sure there's any damage like going on inside of the brain, so that way if there's like swelling or something, we can start him on some medication.
Okay.
At which point, you know, it will take some time, but
Okay, so I'll get that scan going. Let's see what it says. Okay, definitely see there's bleeding.
okay, so a brain bleed.
Mhm.
Okay, so brain bleeds are pretty fairly straightforward surgery. The main part about that is making sure that any vessels that are exposed, any like the frontal part where it's kind of like hanging out a little bit. We want to kind of make like a makeshift skull cap part for this. So we can make that out of, so we use polymer glue, and we use a plate. And we kind of can warp the plate to match his skull shape. So it will protect the brain. Usually with brain bleeds, there does come some swelling after the bleeding stops. Especially when there's exposed brain. So we're gonna start him on some mannitol. So I'll go ahead and start that drip. What I want you to do is measure the hole of the skull that is missing, so we can kind of like get the right size plate for it. And from there we can kind of warp it to match his head shape. And it's all about like, you kind of have to be like an artist and in the brain surgery world.
Gotcha.
Because it's kind of like there's some like new technology out there that like you can like 3D print like the skull cap and everything like that, and it's very interesting, but unfortunately we don't have that technology yet here. So we're gonna have to stick with metal. But good part about that is
She's so loud.
if he ever goes on a plane,
Ma'am.
he'll start a party at TSA.
It's true.
And TSA just love people who start parties.
Be a very interesting story to tell. Flop.
We're
I
all
can tell
about
it's
the parties in Los Santos, so he's just bringing the party with them.
Very true. Okay, I'm gonna measure this and see what we need to make. I'm doing brain surgery, ma'am. Please shush.
How's your coffee?
Good. Second one.
Oh, golly. You're gonna be wild.
Yes. Shh. By the way.
What do you want, baby?
Okay. It doesn't look to be too big.
Okay.
Definitely large enough to have that, you know, obviously exposed.
We gotta cut back.
All right, well then we can probably go with the smallest plate that we have, and since it's on his the front part of his skull, so the front part of your skull is actually pretty flat. It usually doesn't start curving until around your hairline. The only part that it really curves at is like, it's kind of like right where your temple goes is where it curves. Obviously, like your head is kind of like a big sphere, right? So you really just need to kind of shape like the edges to kind of match his skull shape, because since he has more of like a muscular frame, his face is very skinny. So we don't want him to have like, you know, like a bulging part of his skull. And he has more of like a square shaped face, so we want to kind of match that.
Gotcha.
Brain surgery is kind of like artistry, neurosurgery, plastic surgery,
Kind of everything.
kind of everything.
Okay. Okay, so I've shaped that.
Perfect, that looks good. All right,
Oh my
so
God.
what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and cauterize the vessels that are exposed that is causing the bleeding. So it looks like there's 5 or 6 that is kind of like popping out a little bit. you can kind of see like one of them is split, like right here in the middle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna like burn the tip of it and kind of reconnect it with the tweezers. So I'm gonna use these clamps to hold down this part of his brain.
Ooh.
And I'll hold the tweezers too. And I'm gonna have you cauterize both ends.
Okay.
And it's just a little bit. Just you don't want to do it too much because it could actually like ruin his brain function if you do that.
Gotcha.
But don't be nervous. Like you'll be fine. Just make sure you only hold it for like a second or two, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Just take a deep breath. You got this. I'm right here. You'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
What's that?
Perfect. Good. All right. Use these tweezers. I'll give you another pair of tweezers so we can kind of.
Okay. Can you please stop being so loud? Oh, no. Okay, so seems like Dr. Harlow's just has to take a tiny nap, but that's okay. Looks like we are just melding these back together like she said. I'm just gonna do a quick check on vitals, make sure that everything is still stable. Hang another blood bag. Just make sure everything is still good. Right in the middle of surgery, she boop, head pop. Okay, there's some more blood. Oxygen is still flowing. And hopefully that pulse is doing a bit better. Okay, amazing. Okay, those bleeds taken care of, it'll probably definitely just keep improving from here. And we will work on slightly getting all of that fit in and closed up, and she comes back, but just want to make sure. Okay, so it was a single shot to the head. Just want to make sure that there's no other injuries that may have happened to his arms or legs when he fell. Okay, good. So, we should be almost done here. We'll have to just keep an eye on how he feels when he wakes up, make sure that, you know, he has full function of, you know, motion and speech and sight and everything like that. And then we'll have to see if he'll need extra rest in the ICU or if he will wake up on his own and just need a little bit of time in the ER. But based on the fact that you know, his brain was pretty much exposed, I definitely think it's probably better to keep him in the ICU. Nurses, if you can just work on preparing that bed, definitely think we're gonna need it.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay. I just checked his vitals and everything is good. I definitely think he's gonna need ICU. To
Oh,
recover.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Usually with brain surgery like this, with the brain bleed, we like to have like at least a 24-hour hold just to make sure brain activity comes back to normal. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold these next vessels, and you're just gonna do the same thing a couple more times, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
Okay.
Perfect. Good job. Connect these. Looks like we got 2 more.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a little bit of suction here because there's some blood pooling in the back. You can see from the scope right here that I have. There's some blood pooling back there, so I'm just gonna apply some suction.
She do be. Let's go.
Tweezers on the next one.
Okay.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Perfect. There we go. Awesome job.
Just a little bit of brain surgery, just a little bit of.
All right, connecting these two together.
Look at the floor. There's just a bunch of welding tools.
All right, last one. Picking up the left end here. Okay, go ahead whenever you're ready. Perfect. Amazing job.
I'm doing brain surgery, guys.
Okay. Connecting these. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and apply a saline rinse just to make sure that the cauterization is all in place. Make sure they don't wiggle. It looks to be good. There we go. He looks great. All right. So, with this brain being exposed, you can definitely tell that there is swelling already occurring. Mannitol is going to take a little bit to go through his bloodstream. It's a very, very heavy drug. So we need to have him on this drip until he pretty much leaves tomorrow. For now, what you can do, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but take the plate that you shape and kind of just push down a little bit, but make sure to apply the polymer first,
Okay.
because it will kind of act as like a cushion. So make sure you cover the entire backside of the plate with the polymer.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these clamps. And let's go ahead. I'm going to take a scalpel and cut a little bit more of his forehead. Just so we have access to kind of like fit the plate.
He's like, I didn't realize that this was happening today.
Here we go. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and hold this skin flap back, and you're just gonna place it right on top of the hole.
Okay.
Okay, ready whenever you are.
All right. Go. And how's that look?
Great. Go ahead and push it in plate.
Okay. There.
Good. Now, since since this is kind of like an artificial skull cap, he's going to be more prone to fractures of his skull. So we want to make sure that for the next week or so, his head is protected. So we're going to get him a helmet custom fitted to his head, just to allow like the healing process to begin. I'd say for like the next 3 days, no duty, maybe I'd say like 2 or 3 days. And then until he gets the helmet off, we're going to do light duty. So that pretty much means like right along, not going on any major like shootouts or anything like that. You can kind of see where like the bullet hit the skull. There's like branches of like a fracture. So usually what I do with like fractures and stuff is I just use the polymer, and it kind of imitates the skull parts that kind of flecked out a little bit with the fracture. So go ahead and follow the branches of the fracture with the polymer.
Okay.
And give it like a minute to dry or so.
Okay.
Perfect. We're not going to get him fitted for a helmet right now, because he's going to have a suction tube for the next 10 hours, just to make sure that the bleeding has stopped. So we're not going to like fully close up his wound or anything just yet, because the suction tube is going to be coming out of his forehead. So we can kind of like stitch up to the tube, but we're just gonna wrap like a lot of bandages around it for now, so it kind of stays in place.
Okay.
Perfect. That looks really great. Okay. He is good to go.
All right.
Just applying the reversal of anesthesia here. Typically also when we're doing brain surgery like this, the person has to be awake, but with his brain being exposed, it was better to have him asleep.
Is that mostly just with exposed that it's better, or is it more just he came in unconscious so it's better to keep him that way?
Yeah, it's kind of like a case-by-case situation. If they come in unconscious, you know, really there's nothing we could do, and it could further damage his brain if we tried to wake him up. So we usually just, you know, put through the anesthesia and keep them asleep. But if they come in and they're conscious and, you know, they're talking to us, we want to keep that. So if you ever have a person that comes in like that, try your best to have another doctor with you, so while you're working on the brain, they can kind of be like an assistant, and they can also keep them talking. And just like simple questions like, what'd you have for breakfast today? And what do you do for your job? And what's your favorite movie? And what's 2 + 2? And stuff like that. So
Okay.
just very simple questions that they would know.
Gotcha.
But other than that, he looks great. You can go ahead and start the ICU process. And then we'll go from there.